Hi everyone, welcome to the final day of the Yoga Habit Challenge. Congratulations on making it this far. Today we're going to be talking about imposter syndrome, and I also have a very special announcement for you all at the very end of the video, so stay tuned for that. So what is imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome is that feeling that you get where you just have this feeling, this sinking feeling in your head that everyone else has it more together than you do, that everyone else knows more, and that you are secretly a fraud, and that no one else knows this, but actually you have no idea what you're doing. And this imposter syndrome can rear its head all the time whenever we're trying something new or feeling a bit uncomfortable in our new adventures. And I just wanted to tell you that it's completely normal and very, very common for people who are trying new things, like starting a yoga practice. So as you all venture into your life, trying to integrate yoga into your day-to-day routine, I feel like you're bound to get this moment where you feel like you just don't know as much as everyone else, or just everyone else has it more together than you do. And this can happen in quite a few different ways, but the way that I mostly see it rearing its head is through perfectionism, through feeling like there's a certain image of what you believe a yoga person or yoga practice should look, and you feel like you're not living up to that. You just don't feel like you're quite there yet, you know? You feel like everyone else is doing yoga for a certain length of time, their bodies can do certain things, and you just can't do them the same way. You're just not there yet. So, I just wanted to remind you guys that a yoga practice does not have one look. A yoga practice doesn't have one body shape. A yoga practice doesn't have to last a certain length of time. A yoga practice is what you make of it. A yoga practice, you can think of your own goals and your own desires, and you can mold your yoga practice around them. So you can think, well, I want to have more energy in my day, or I want to relax, I want to have more time for me. You can think about the goals that you have for your own practice and personalize it to you. And so as a help with this, as a help for this perfectionism that we can often get into, I would invite you to just think for a moment about what rules in your head your yoga practice you're trying to live up to. So we might have these ideas in our head about what it should look like that we might not even realize that we have. So for me, I used to think that I needed my practice to last for an hour. And that turns out to be totally not true. Like, it doesn't have to last for an hour. And since releasing myself of that burden, I found that it's so much easier to practice on my own because I no longer am forcing myself to practice for an hour, and I also just find it easier to get on my mat because I don't feel like I need to practice for an hour, because an hour can feel like quite an intimidating amount of time. So think about those rules you're creating, that perfect yoga practice in your head, and throw it out the window and realize that it's totally moldable by yourself. You can decide what you want your yoga practice to be. And also, imposter syndrome, it is a tricky thing. It rears its head because we secretly believe that everyone else knows what they're doing and we actually know less than they know, right? We think that all those other people are better at this than we are, that they know more about yoga than we do, and they are going to be better at it than we are. When actually that couldn't be further from the truth. That some of the people that I believe are the most dedicated yoga practitioners are not the fanciest ones with the longest practices. They're the ones who get the most benefit out of it in the way that works for them. And so that's actually the reality of yoga. It's not about the poses, it's not about the time we spend on the mat. It's about feeling those benefits that have been proven that yoga can create in our lives. So just think about that today as you head off out of this challenge and into your personal practice, and decide what you want out of your practice and go after that, and let all of those rules you've created in your head fall to the wayside. And I just wanted to also let you all know that I have a very special announcement for you guys, and I'm quite nervous about it because it's been a huge amount of, thinking and planning and jumping out of my own comfort zone to get this to you guys. But I've decided to create an 8-week online course And this online course will be a mixture of one-on-one sessions with me to chat with you about what you want out of your yoga practice. And you'll also get an online module system that is going to be released to you each week, where we will go over the full 8 limbs of Ashtanga yoga. So Ashtanga is translated as 8 limbs or 8 parts. And the postures of this are only one of the 8 limbs. So there's actually so much to yoga that you can learn. Like, it's so complicated and so interesting. So much philosophy and spirituality, and just, I found that it's been hugely valuable to me as I go through my own life. And we will go through each of the 8 limbs each week, and I will also teach you the postures in the primary series in a beginner-friendly way that is accessible to all bodies. So I'll help you learn every pose in a way that you understand that you're doing it correctly. You're not gonna hurt yourself. And I believe that yoga is like a language. So what does this mean? Yoga, the poses on the mat are kind of like words. And the flows that we flow through are kind of like a sentence. And it can be a bit, I don't know, overwhelming at first, because we see these people who are able to flow in the mat, and we're like, oh my gosh, like, how do they know that many poses? Like, how do I do that? And I was exactly there when I first started practicing yoga. I was like, oh my God, I really want to be able to get on the mat and flow, but it just seems so much. Like, it seems too much to me. Like, I get on the mat and I do like 2 poses and then I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to do next. And I believe that it's all like learning a language. So at first, I'll introduce to you some fundamental flows, and I'll also teach you the way to transition between the poses in a natural way. And just like when you're learning a new language, it's like you want to learn sample sentences, and then over time you're able to speak fluently, like speaking in whatever way you want to say, telling your own stories, coming up with your own ideas. But this is only possible once you've learned the language. So I would like to teach you the language of yoga through the structure of the 8 limbs of Ashtanga yoga. And because all of you guys have completed the 7-day challenge, I'm going to give all of you a discount off of this 8-week course. And you will also get an extra one-on-one session with me, just because that you've completed this, and I'm so happy to have had you through this whole adventure. So if this sounds interesting to you, just send me a reply to this email, and I will get back to you very soon. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that you enjoyed this challenge, and good luck, happy practicing. Bye!